Hi guys, it's me, it's Psychic Medium Ray, and today we're back. We're doing another video, and today's video I'm going to be focusing on Lil Nas. He's been in the spotlight recently, and not for such good things, apparently, or allegedly. It's in the news that he was spotted assaulting an officer, and he was possibly on drugs or potentially OD'd and was taken to a hospital, I believe. And so now we're trying to figure out like what's going on with this story. Was he on a substance? Was possibly he, had something going on, like a medical emergency? Or was it just a publicity stunt? I think that everybody wants to know. So let's find out. Let me just set the tone and the mood. Let me turn on my light, my pumpkin. Yes, we're gonna cut off the light, babies, so we can get to the bottom of this reading, get started. Let me put a tea light over here too. Turn that on. I just like to set the tone because we're something magical here. All right, let's turn that on. Yes, have my selenite going. Have a lot of stuff going. All right, let's get to it. So what's going on with Lil Nas? I think a lot of people want to know. The Ace of Wands. This is like his creativity. It's almost like I feel like this is for something new coming out for him. I feel like it's the borderline a publicity stunt, but knew what he was doing. Yeah, because we see a new opportunity coming out. A lot of celebrities are known to do this. I'm not saying that he faked this by any means, but I don't think that this was just like him, taking something and ODing. I feel like there's a lot of backlash, though. This could be like a mother figure worried for him, or his mom, worried. But I feel like there's somebody that's really worried about him and like is trying to get him to change. I feel like they're talking to him. This could be a manager as well, or somebody that in his team is almost like, what are you fucking thinking? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? And I see him kind of walking away a little bit from the spotlight. I mean, he's not going to walk away completely, but he might take a couple of days and is going to like lay low. But, there's no such thing as bad press. There's always any press is good press in some ways. I feel like he's weighing his options. I feel like now it's like the damage control, but these antics and these things that he just did and got caught for, I feel like, it's letting people know like, hey, we may not want to work with him. So I feel like brands and sponsors, this could lead to a potential drop. Remember, he is a big role model for people, and it's not a good look. But I do see him kind of coming out of this. So um, I'm definitely feel like he's a risk taker. He likes to try things and do things. But I see the death card too. So that's like, it's almost like he's changing something, like stopping something to start something new. I think when people become a little not as relevant, in the news and stuff, they tend to resort to these things. But I do see the Page of Wands. So again, I feel like this is like a very he's almost like on a soul journey, and he's trying to discover himself. But at the same time, it's almost like the dark night of the soul. And he's been known for a lot of darker things. But I feel like it's almost like there's some money opportunities, like I said, that might be lost from this. He'll always bounce back, but he's very, you know, diva-ish. And so I feel like he feels almost alone. Like, yeah, he has all these people around him, but not a lot of people really know him or understand him. And I feel like he might be like a little trapped. And it's also like this has a lot to do too with things that he's already done. I'm not saying that the Illuminati is not real or is real, but I'm just saying there are like soul ties with people that he's made, soul contracts, if you understand what I'm saying, kind of talking between the lines. I feel like, again, these are very ritualistic kind of things that are happening to him. there's consequences because like the high priestess. So definitely there's some magic here. There's some things, eyes are being opened, but I do feel like oh, the Knight of Swords, like he's going to. There's like a lot of anger in him that he's confronting, but also a lot of lies. People are lying to him. And it's almost like I feel like he sees only what he wants to see. So it's interesting, but I feel like Lil Nas is um, I want to say that there's something dark haunting him. And he may not even realize that this entity takes over him and gets him to do these things. But he's going to try to get back to working, on projects and things that he has. But I just feel like money has opened a lot of things for him in doorways. And so the sun card is in reverse, and I normally don't read it in reverse, but the way that that is, I feel like while it would symbolize in an upright position a lot of happiness, a lot of good blessings coming, I feel like this is the beginning of a downward spiral for him. And until he hits rock bottom, he's not going to get out of it. And I just feel like people will still support him, obviously, the die-hard fans, but this is not good in the long term because I see him like losing opportunities. The Nine of Pentacles is in reverse too. It's very interesting. I'm going to pull some from an oracle deck as well to see. But yeah, I feel like there's the record label that he's with. People are looking at him very, very, and I feel like there's this reprimanding, like this is not a good look for us, And the King of Swords again, like him trying to stand his ground and defend himself, but yes, we make stupid mistakes, but when it's very public like this, it's almost like the destruction of a celebrity. We saw it with Britney Spears. We saw it with other celebrities that have had addictions, and it's a spiral. The Ace of Swords, will he come out of this? Like, will he, be, out of the spotlight for these reasons? Yes, absolutely. But it's going to be the next part of this year, like the next 3 months or so. It's almost like trying to find the light outside of that and explain to the fans like what happened. You know, um, I definitely feel this was a culmination of things. Publicity for yes, obviously people knew that he was there, paparazzi, whatnot. But I also feel like a lot of it was really like him, you know, not realizing like what he's doing. Like again, it could be substances for sure, but I feel like he's fighting a battle is what I keep feeling. And that battle is within himself and within the addictions that he has, which are not just drugs, it goes beyond that too. And I feel like he's carrying a lot of things internally that he never really processed, things that he's never talked about that fans may not even know, but there might be subliminal messages in songs or performances. And I feel like there's a guy who loves him or that's interested in him, that's worried about him. This could be like a boyfriend or a friend, who they've friend with benefits, that kind of situation. And I feel like that person is like going to be there for him to console him, but there's so much drama. I feel like Lil Nas brings drama wherever he goes, and it's messy. It's a messy situation. It's not only involving him, but other people. And I think that, he wants to always be kind of like worshipped. And it's like, this is not, everybody that is a celebrity, at some point you have your 5 minutes of fame, and then, then people move on to the next hottest thing or the biggest thing. And I feel like when he, had the success with some of his hits and whatnot, and with his sneaker line, it caused a lot of controversy. So he's known for controversial things, but I also feel like there's other things that he yearns for. Believe it or not, I feel like there's something about children too. Um, and down the road, I don't know if he would adopt a child or have a child, but I definitely see like this turning point where he is going to realize like he wants more, but he's going to have to defend himself because people, like I said, in the industry already are judging him and putting a lot of pressure on him, and it's just it's been weighing on him for a while. So yeah, this is this is not looking good. And again, money opportunities are in reverse. So again, I feel like again that we're going to see a lot of kind of like the beginning of the downward spiral. It's not something that he cannot get out of, but I just feel like it's definitely going to be something that is that affects him and is affecting him in many ways. So we'll pull a couple of oracle cards before we wrap up this reading. Let's see, what does Lil Nas need to know? The Witch of the Woods, a retreat. So, when I see retreat, I think rehab. you know, honestly, let me show it to you. It's like a little. So I think that he's gonna go and take like this vacation or like get away. But I also feel like a bathing in the river, self care. He needs to take care of himself because obviously there's this part of him that is become unhinged and angry and is doing these things in a normal state of mind. He would never do these kind of antics and stuff, regardless. And then I see enter at your own risk, a pause. So there definitely is a pause here. And I also see the initiation, a sacred test. So, like I said, this is very ceremonial. This is a test from the universe, but also a lot of like the celebrities out there, who they align themselves with, and what they align themselves with, is what exactly is going to sometimes, um, oh, is going to kind of rule them and kind of like have a lot of precedence over what they do. And so a lot of what we've seen with what celebrities are capable of doing, if in fact he did OD, like they're allegedly saying, this could be very tragic. It could have been very much at the end, but we have to just, send him positive energy and love and see what comes out of this. But I definitely feel like we haven't seen the last of Lil Nas. I think that he's going to have a lot more outlandish behavior like Kanye West, like Amy Winehouse, that kind of stuff. But I do think that this is part publicity too. So it's only time will tell. You'll be surprised. A lot of celebrities stage things. They do things to get a rise out of people. But I really do feel he's on a downward spiral. But only time will tell. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to suggest any other psychic reading on any other celebrity or person, please be sure to comment in the comment section below. Also, be sure to subscribe. Give this video a like. Give it a thumbs up so we can get it circulating. All right, guys, I love y'all so much. Until next time, bye.